Welcome back to another episode of the Up Watching Hawaii podcast. I'm your host, Ski Mask Smurfy, aka OG Smurf 826. And tonight's topic, or this morning's topic, or afternoon, or whenever you're listening to this, the topic of this episode is Stephen F. Austin, which I meant to get to it last week, but unfortunately, life came at me fast and hit me upside the back of the head. And well, Stephen F. Austin last week, they came into the national and social media spotlight of people who pay some attention to college football, or a decent amount, wherever you want to say folks fit on the scale. And that it came to notice live while it was happening. A lot of tweets started going out that, hey, Stephen F. Austin is up 70 to 0, 7-0 to Goose Egg in the first half of their game. And everyone drew the question of, damn, who is Stephen F. Austin destroying as the FCS program themselves, who's not even ranked? Well, they may have been ranked, I don't know. But not one of the notable teams. They're not one of the Dakotas, Montanas, the Idaho. So everyone's saying, what's going on here? They're not from the Big Sky country. So what are they doing hanging up 70 in the first half on somebody? We have to know who this is. So everybody looks at the game, they see the name, North American, which first off, everybody's like, haven't heard of them. And people look into the North American University Stallions. Decent sounding name, nothing too crazy, except that's when folks find out, hey, this 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 program doesn't seem, no one's really heard this name before. Which one of the more popular posts comes up and saying, hey, this is that small school off Airport Drive, Airport Road, a local talking about it is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this school, I'm pretty sure they just accept anybody who's played high school in the greater Houston area, and you got to bring your own pads. Which, of course, for me or anyone looking into it and trying to figure out how Stephen F. Austin just, doing what they're doing, red flags start going up everywhere. So the first thing you find out is like, hey, you know, FCS schools have been doing things like this for a little while, which I'll get into a little bit further into this down the road. That, yeah, because everybody's paying attention to the FCS schools going to play the big schools in the FBS. They don't really pay attention to some of the shady scheduling they get into when in the beginning of the season. Because, like, I attended Morehouse College. That's a D2 program. And we've had a few games against Howard University, which is an FCS program. But both HBCUs, FCS versus D2, not too crazy, right? Nothing too out of the ordinary. But North American University, their program is NAIA. Yes, if you're listening to this, don't know exactly what NAIA is. In college football, we have FBS, Division One or 1A for the old folks. Then you have below that you have FCS, which is Division One, Double A for the old folks. Then you have Division Two. Then you have Division Three. Then below that is a whole amalgamation of just other organizations who have put together associations in order for people to play collegiate sports at schools that aren't really the greatest schools. Well, I'm not saying they're not the greatest, but they aren't the largest programs within their state. Because if you watched, if you watched the show that ran for, I think about 5 or 6 seasons, Last Chance U. Last Chance U, they started at East Mississippi. Then they went to East Mississippi Community College, in, of course, Mississippi. Then they went to Independence Community College, which was in Kansas. Then they went to a community college whose name I cannot recall, which was in the San Francisco area. Then they did 2 seasons of basketball. which they did at East LA Community College. All of those community colleges are part of the National Junior College Athletic Association, the NJCAA. That's one of those NCAA-like organizations that operates at the scale of, hey, if you want to play sports at a level at universities who don't really have all the facilities or money to provide to provide the levels required to be D1, D2, or D3, you can come play here outside of the NCAA. And also, the biggest thing, if you paid attention to last chance, was that, hey, playing here does not count against your years of being an NCAA athlete, which the NAIA is the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, which basically functions in a similar way as the National Junior College Athletic Association. And there's a few other associations in there, but collectively, everybody considers all these organizations that are NCAA like that stretch across the country or just states, we consider all of those to be JUCO, junior college sports, which is where typically before the transfer portal and advancements in athletics for the players to let them play in NCAA, this is where everyone went for a year or two because it wouldn't count against your time. You can still play, then come right back up after a lot of different legislation and different rules and stuff would go away, and then you could just be free to do whatever you wanted. Such as Cam Newton. Cam Newton, University of Florida, got in trouble while sitting behind Tim Tebow, went to Mount Blaine Junior College, then came back up and went to Auburn because one of the biggest things was, hey, at that time was, hey, your head coach has to sign off on you transferring, and the biggest thing was, hey, Urban Urban Meyer and the athletic department had to prove where you're transferring to. And the first thing was you couldn't transfer to any SEC school. And that was a big thing for a very long time. If you were transferring, you couldn't transfer within your conference. Every school was like, uh-uh. So yeah, this is where we're at. Now, North American University, an NAIA school. So what I'm saying is your local junior college, community college, like very small school that, just does stuff. Maybe like this school, North American, is a one building community college. Doesn't have facilities. You're just like, hey, they're just putting together sports. It's just a lot of guys trying to get, a lot of local guys just trying to do something after they've graduated high school, trying to move on to the next level, maybe using it as a prep or whatever. So there's a program. They started in 2020. Yeah, started in 2020, and I looked into it. Like the person commented, yes, it was on the road near the road where they said it was. One building. It's a one building university. It is also the football program started in 2020. They do require you to bring your own pads in order to try out. And also a part of trying out is you have to pay the $65 USA football insurance fee, which I've done before when I was playing wouldn't call it collegiate rugby, but an intramural level of rugby, which colleges play against one another through the USA Rugby. $40 fee, you are insured. So when you organize competition between you and another school or you're practicing, you are insured. So like your injuries that occur, you can go to the hospital to get the things fixed. Simple stuff. But this has become a trend which has been hidden. Well, not hidden, but no one pays attention to because once you get outside of the bigger schools, no one pays as much attention to what the smaller schools are really getting to. And like this past week, Northern Illinois was paid $1.4 million to play Notre Dame, which for the most part, same thing with the big schools with Notre Dame. Notre Dame is basically paying a school to give them a win, in essence. Except once you get to the FCS level, and even Division Two and Division Three, you start to see things get a little bit more scummy, and where they're not paying for a team to come and play them, where they hope they're going to win. They pick teams intentionally where they know this team doesn't stand a chance. So Stephen F. Austin, I believe FCS level off the top of my head, they are able to offer around 50 scholarships, 50 to 60 scholarships to players. So you're talking about a program that can offer 50, 60 scholarships for guys to come play football. So you got that. Then you have facilities. You got that because North American University, their team, they practice and play at a local high school field. So they do not have any facilities on their one building campus. You have that. They're, Stephen F. Austin, your players aren't bringing their pads. Then you're paying money, which is a common thing as I go back and you look through things. Because I know some other instances, which the biggest instance of, weird fake school, well, not going to call them fake schools, but these very papery sports programs built around schools would be Bishop Sycamore. Bishop Sycamore, we all saw what happened on national TV with IMG Academy, which, similar to Bishop Sycamore, popped up overnight. Well, not IMG Academy itself, it has a very long history. Started out with a lot of golf and tennis. Venus and Serena Williams, Monica Seals, and a lot of tennis stars came through there. Elena Donovan came through their soccer program, you know? But IMG Academy, let me say this, they started off, being a nice facility so pros would come there for different sports just to train there. 2010, they started a football academy for guys to come in and train every once in a while. In 2013, they started a football team, fielded a football team. Then by 2015, that football team was nationally ranked in the top 25. So yes, these football programs can spring up low key overnight to get things done. But here with Stephen F. Austin and North American University, this is one of the instances where, yes, I'm paying you to let me beat the shit out of your players so we can have a win on our schedule. Just so when it gets to the end of the season, people are like, well, they have one more win than that team. Even though it's a team that really, technically, really sort of doesn't exist. You bought the win, and then they're donating stuff to the program because I'm looking through, you gotta build my stuff out before I come in and talk about it, get my notes and stuff. And one of the things I remembered and recalled and looked up was a school called the College of Faith Saints, which was a completely online only university. They were functioning out of Arkansas, I believe. And their whole thing was FCS schools would regularly pay them. Basically, their whole season was nothing but FCS schools paying them and donating equipment to them to somehow build their program out or just keep a program running decently enough so that schools could just have another one on their record. The biggest incident came in when they played Davidson, an FCS school. So this is a long running thing, and it's a weird underbelly of the sport because also Bishop Sycamore is linked to a school called RPA College, which, from as best I could tell, was sort of like linked to a school out there called Arlington Baptist University, and basically just another school fed out there for D2 and D3 schools to get a win on, with guys on there just out there to get filmed and hopefully get a scholarship to play college football somewhere else. It's a very interesting and seedy underbelly. And I think Stephen F. Austin, he almost broke through the sound barrier, pulling that to the light. But just knowing an NAIA school is playing an FCS school is bad enough already. But knowing they just started their program in 2020 is insane. And I think that's the kind of thing that's going to need to be sort of cleaned up a little bit. As everyone is, pushing for us to have a commission of college football to get things done, such as with my alma mater, University of Michigan, getting our scandals not taking 4 to 5 years to the point where nobody's really around who's involved in it. This is another thing I think will definitely need to be cleaned up. And I'm going to end here. This is the Up Watching Hawaii podcast. I'm Ski Mask Murphy. I appreciate you coming through. I'm sorry I got a little bit clogged up. I don't know what's going on with my nose. Something fucked it 2 weeks ago. Hopefully it's not the, you know, that the thing. Not gonna say, but hopefully it's not that. Appreciate you guys for listening. Hope you come back for more. Peace out.